Alright, welcome to part 2 of my budgeting series, I guess you could say. I don't know, budgeting show, whatever you want to call it. But on part 1, I basically showed you guys my breakdown of how I estimate my bills for the entire month, and then figure out my gross pay, and then basically figure out how much money I have at the end of the month to spend on things such as saving money, buying food, getting tattoos, whatever you want to spend extra money on. That's how I figured that out. So, and also, I showed how, because I have not yet gotten insurance yet, but I've estimated how much it may possibly be to have insurance for myself, and how much that would be to have money taken out of my budget as well. So, just kind of estimate, but going off of what I've been going off for years, it seems to pretty much work. Now on this part, I want to show you guys how I individually break down each of my bills for each payday. So what I'm going to do is, or what I usually do is, I write down all of my paydays, and I used to have a calendar up here, which I need to get another one, but since payday is going to be tomorrow, which is the 27th, actually technically today is the 27th because this is a late night vlog, but I'll put, February 27th. Now, I base this off of what I normally pay at this time of the month. So, normally I pay my rent, which is around $325. And I pay my car every 2 weeks, so I know that that's automatically going to be taken out, so we got to make sure that's in there. So that's $232, half of the total amount for the month, of course. I know that I got to pay my utility bill around this time, so I'm going to put my utility bill on there. Gas, $60 for the week. And I know that I got to pay rent this month on my loan, so that's $28. And let's see what else. What else did I put up in that one? Yeah. Alright. So basically I'm covering the major bills. So technically today this is what I need to have paid for once I get my check in. I gotta pay rent, or save the money to pay rent in a few days. $325, $232 for the car, $40 for utility bills, $60 in gas, $28 for rent. And of course my phone is dying, so I have no calculator, so I have to do it all in my head. Basically, you add up all those numbers, and I'll come up with a grand total of $685. So, I put the 27th, which is today. So today, what is due to be paid for here in the next few days, or today, rent $325, car $232, utility $40, gas $60, and rent $28. That came out to a grand total of $685. Now, I got my main check from my main job. That only came out to about $587. So, I subtract the $587 from the $685. That leaves me with about $90-something left to pay. That is where the second job comes in. Once I get paid on Wednesday from my second job, that will cover the amount of bill balance left. So, yeah, I told you that. Now, before I, figure out where I can spend this money out, I have to look further into the future and be like, okay, well, I know that I have to pay $685 for this pay period to cover all my bills. So, coming up on February 10th, next month, what am I going to have to pay for next? Well, I know that the next bills, or series of bills that I'm going to have to pay for, is insurance, which is $191. My car note, again, for the second half of the payment, gas, this time my phone, and then this time my internet bill. So that total is going to come out to $593. And I'm going to show you why this is important to look at, looking at your bills ahead too. Because I know that this is going to be $685 total to pay right now. February 10th comes around, I'll have to pay $593. And then I also made it for February 24th. I know that once again, rent is going to have to be paid, car is going to have to be paid, utility bill, and gas is going to have to be paid. That is going to come out to $657. Well, technically $685 because once again you'll have to pay for the rent. So it's the same stuff that you got to pay for each and every time. So I know that since now my paydays are individually broke up, now I can figure out how much money I will have left to spend and where I'm going to spend it at. So technically, to make sure that you did your budget right, all of these numbers, the $685, the $593, and the $585 again, should come out to the same amount of money when you did your total budget for the whole month. So that number that I did was $1,338. So if I add up these numbers, 685, 593, 685, 10, 11, 12, 13, 30, 40, 50, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I can't count or something. Make sure I did this shit right. Oh, well that's why. Because I did it for 3 months. There we go. Okay. So, once you add up the two of your pay periods together, you should come up, and I came up with this number this time, $1,278. So then you go to your gross pay, and you subtract that number. That's how much money you have left to spend. So then that's when you can figure out, okay, well, I'm going to spend this amount of money on this payday to go shopping or whatever, and I'm going to save the other money for the next payday to save or something. So if that made sense, which I really did, I hope that made sense because I was trying to make it make as much sense as possible. That is how I do my budget, you guys. So each month or whatever, I start out by just listing everything because you never know when new expenses are going to be added to your budget. In this case, insurance is going to be added to it soon. It's going to have to be. Just things like that. You never know what's going to happen to where you need extra money. So it's always good, seriously, to budget out your expenses. And I just found out that this is like the easiest way for me to do it is when I do write all my budget out, figure it how much it's going to be, and then individually for each payday figure out which bill is going to be paid on this day and this day. Then I decide when I want to spend that extra money. So it actually really does work out good for me. And I don't know if any of you guys are out there trying to learn how to budget or have your own system or whatever, but this is what definitely works for me. And like I said, I always like to exaggerate the numbers just a little bit because, like, you never know if a certain bill is going to cost less or if it's going to cost a little bit more than what it normally is. So I always like to put that in there kind of theoretically just to see if, okay, if this does happen this way, am I going to be able to pay for it? And if so, then I have that extra money there to do it. So hopefully all this made sense, you guys. It's late and I'm tired, but I wanted to come on and really show you guys how I do my budgeting. And like I said, you know, if you stick to it and you follow your budget, or at least keep close to it, you'll always have gas in your car. You'll always have extra money. You'll always have money for food. You'll have your bills covered, and you have no worries unless something comes up. So that is that, you guys. Like I said, if you like this video, thumbs up at least. If you don't want to comment, let me know what you thought about it. I just really hope that does help somebody out who might need help budgeting or trying to figure out where to start at least. And I always thought that was a good idea, so for me it works and I love it. So there you go. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I know these videos were long, but I just really wanted to get that out there. It should be payday for me now, so see what happens with that. Alright, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys on the next vlog. So good night and holla back, y'all.